we were on Smallville. The show launched in 2001, which I can't believe it's over a decade ago now. And they really wanted us to try to duplicate what the Blair Witch Project had done for feature films, in a marketing sense, for a television show. So how are we going to do that? So we set up very early on websites around the series. It was the school newspaper, which Chloe Sullivan was the editor for. It was the town newspaper. It was a good place to deliver information. And there was a couple other websites like Lex Luthor's website and what have you. We really had some good success early on telling story. And part of the things that we put in there were simple things that we would think of today, but were kind of a little different at the time, was letters to the editor. Or Chloe would always end every one of her articles with a question and giving you an email address to send your answers into. And the amount of communication that we received because people felt like they were talking to Chloe, this character that they loved very much, was almost overwhelming. I mean, we have tomes, books of just printouts of thousands and thousands and thousands of emails. And they told us lots of different things, but one of the main things they were telling us was there's not enough Chloe actually on the television show. Why is she only getting 3 or 4 lines in the early seasons? And it was that she was clearly, Allison was building a character on the TV show that fans easily related to for the little parts that they had of her on the show. She was a very relatable character. She had a lot of things that felt like the fan could relate to. So what happened was AOL owned Warner Brothers at the time, and they wanted to experiment with video online. They thought, we should try this video thing online thing. This might take off one day. And they said, can we use Allison to give a behind-the-scenes tour of the sets of Smallville? And I was like, what? We're telling these great stories. People are having so much fun online. Could we do something where we take her character, who was basically an investigative journalist, and can we have her carry the stories on that were basically ending on the series? Because Smallville, from a business perspective, was set up to be a one-off series, something you can consume one at a time, not follow the mythologies. So what would happen is the kids would go to school with someone who'd get infected with kryptonite poisoning, and then they would die. And the next episode they'd be like, hey everybody, we're friends, it's great, this is wonderful. Someone just died! And there was no carryover. And fans were also emailing us saying, what the hell's wrong with you guys? Like, these people have no hearts, you know? So what we would do is we used these web series to tell the stories about those stories that were clipping off at the end of the show. So we were picking up where the television show was leaving off. And fans were having fun. So when they asked us, hey, can we do behind the scenes with Allison? I'm like, she's an investigative journalist. Michael Moore had just won an Oscar for being a great investigative documentarian. Can she be the Michael Moore of Smallville? Can we just give her a camera? You're only giving us like $12 to make this thing. So we'll just take a camera and run around like Allison's doing an investigative journalism around Smallville. And so we did it. And it was a pretty big success for AOL, and they ordered subsequent sequels to that, and we started getting money for it, because what ended up happening was the advertisers were saying, we want to try this online advertising thing too. Do you have content for us? Do you have something we can sponsor that isn't just the TV show? Can it be value added? Can we buy a 30-second television spot? Can we integrate our products in the show? Can we maybe also sponsor some of that? Can you make some original content for us? And we said, of course, we love making these webisodes and things, and our fans are really liking them. And what also was happening at the same time is, because this was something that we were putting online, American TV, they totally shielded us from what was going on internationally. So us on the show, working day to day, we didn't know if we were a hit anywhere else besides the United States. But because we were linked to our fans online, and we put up things like webisodes, fans from all over the world started sending us emails saying, we want more Chloe, we want, please, more of this online stuff. This is the kind of stories we want to tell. We love her, give us more, give us more, give us more. So, together, we started giving them more. And it became a great business model, and instead of a marketing budget, it became a budget that was funded by the advertisers, just like television. So, it became content, just like TV. And it allowed us to tell bigger and bigger stories. So we did comic books, motion comic books, online stuff, tons of interactive programs, and it became a much bigger thing. And that also led to the DVDs. And what we really were doing, and this, I'll end it here, is we were building a community, as Allison was saying. That's the most important part, because we had a direct link of communication with our fans. We were listening to our fans. We were responding to our fans. They told us, we want this kind of music. We put that kind of music on the CD and sold that soundtrack for them, because they asked for it. We want shirts from the same ones they're wearing in the show. We put it online just as they asked for. And that fan base was great for DVD sales and foreign sales. And Smallville, in the end, is the longest running sci-fi, continuously running sci-fi show in the history of television. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records now, which is hard to believe. It just ended last year, and I think a large part of that, because there's such a complex business system in American television, was that we had this fan base that was thoroughly supportive of the show all the way through on a global scale.